Alright guys, we got this little bit here hammered out, welded up. Fixing to start in here, welding on, or hammering this out. And one of the things I wanted to show you is that anytime you're working down in, well, really anywhere, you want to match the shape of your dolly to the shape of what you're working on. Okay, so if we're working in here, we want to use this like this if we're working on this back side. Which, by the way, guys, this is a what you call a comma dolly. Care to guess why? But at any rate, we'll use this in here. And actually, we got a little bit here, so we'll use it just a little bit. We're trying to straighten this up as much as we can and see what it is that we do need. Okay, but the other area I was going to show you is right here. Okay, this inside of this lip where it's bent up. We're going to now. You would think, looking at it, that you would use it this way, but we're not. We're going to turn it the other way because see, we've got a slight radius here, and we have the beginnings of our radius here where it turns the corner. So we're going to put it in there this way and try to bring this lip down. And again, guys, actually this is a good opportunity to show you that. See, if you don't hold your dolly tight, okay, here's what happens. You know, you sit there and read on it all day long, there's not much going to happen. But if you get it good and tight in there, all right, and this is what's called a hammer off dolly technique, okay? We're not hammering straight on the dolly, okay? If we're hammer on dolly, we're right there, and it's going to sound real solid, okay? That's not what we're doing. We're using hammer off dolly, and what you do is you get a push on your dolly, then you get back up here on this crown, okay, and you start bumping it. And as you can see, it'll bring it right up, okay? Now here we are, we got a little crown here. Now what we'll do with this, we can do it two ways. We can either do it like this, in which case we're sort of hammer on dolly, or we can come over here, work this side as a hammer off dolly, then come over here and hold a dolly and work this side as a hammer off dolly. We're going to start out with it this way, okay? We're going to start off with it sort of a hammer on dolly technique. Okay, now we've got a little, it's bent this way just a little bit, okay? So we're going to come up here, get a good push on it, get back here on this crown. Okay, we lifted that right out of there. Now, we got this little crown here. Once again, hammer off dolly. You'll use hammer off dolly way more than you will hammer on dolly. We're going to get down here below it, about where the crease is, get a push on it, and then we're going to bump this. Okay, we're pretty straight there. We've got just a little bit right here. It's just a little knot. I'm going to get this big curve under it, this tight radius, get it under it. We're going to come to the outside here and here, and we're going to bump while we push. Like I say, guys, you really got to push on these dollies. You can't just put them in there and expect them to do the work. You're still the one applying the force, okay? Now, when we did that, we dropped this just a little again. We're going to get underneath it, get out here on this crown, and bump it some more. All right, there we are. We're straight. We're pretty well right back where the factory intended for it to be. Now, can you ever hammer these and get them dead nuts exactly as the factory intended for them to be? Probably not. Actually, I would almost certainly say absolutely not. Anytime you do any body work, especially hammering, anything like that, every single hammer body either stretches or shrinks that metal, okay, and adds or takes away stress from that metal. And that right there in itself is precisely why any car with any body work in it will never ever be exactly like what it was originally. It'll be close. It'll be close enough that if you're a good body man that nobody will even know. But it'll never be exact. Okay, guys, we're around here to this front corner now, working on it where we've got okay. Well, actually, we got two problems here. It's partially rusted out, which is what initially started all this, but actually most of it is torn out. Okay, like here, this, all this. That was all a tear. Okay, and this too. All right. My theory on this as to what happened is that the we had a little rust area here, and it rusted through this lip. And once that lip was rusted through, and also, and I hope you can, well, let me go get a light. Okay, right here's what I was talking about. See, once this rusted out here, okay, we lost some strength on this lip, okay, and this lip is a vital part of the support in here. The other vital part of the support, because what you got to understand is this bolt hole, and this bolt hole is what supports the back of the running board on this truck. And what they done in here is they had an L bracket, okay, that run here, just like that. Well, as you can see, it's rusted out also. Well, that L bracket, when it rusted through either here or here, was very vital in the strength of this. And so that allowed all this, and every time somebody would step on the running board, it would allow this to flex, which is why we have so many cracks and tears up in here. Plus, with this area rusted through on this lip, it allowed this to flex like this and vibrate as the truck was going down the road, and caused metal fatigue, and that may be part of why that's torn out up in there. But at any rate, we've got some of this hammered into shape. Now what we're going to do is, I've got this piece here pretty well where I want it. We're going to go ahead and clean some of it up, start welding it. It's really not as bad as I initially thought it was going to be. Initially I was thinking I was going to have a pretty huge patch here, but we're going to try to save as much of this decent metal as we can, the stuff that was just torn, that wasn't rusted, because the bigger patch you have to make and form, the harder it is. So what we're hoping for is to maybe just cut about that much out, and every how far it takes to get back to good metal, and then the rest of this, like I say, it's good metal. It just needs the cracks welded up. So just kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of where we were at. So I'm going to go ahead and start and hammer just a little more on this stuff and try to bring it a little closer into shape, and then we'll see where we're at. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay. Alright, I think we're actually close enough. We can do some tacking and kind of see where we're at once we get it cleaned up. So I'm going to cut this camera off, clean this stuff up, and do some tacking, and we'll show you what we got when we at the end of it. Okay guys, we can kind of take a look and see what we got now. Here's where we wind up. And obviously we're going to have to cut a pretty good area out of here for a patch, but we saved a lot of metal, you know. And of course we're going to have to do some hammering to get everything into shape, because you know, it has pulled and everything. But hey, it's way better. And you know, part of this too is saving these locations, you know, which this one back here was no problem, and this one here. But this one here potentially could have been cut out, and yeah, while it's not that big of a deal, it's great if you can save this metal and save that location. That way you don't have to go back and re-drill anything, and you don't have to measure and try to figure out exactly where it was at. So okay guys, I'm going to take a break here and kind of grind this up and hammer it, and start cutting out. I'll be back when I start cutting out for the patch. Bring you guys up here a little closer where you can see what we're doing. Okay, see, we've got two tacks here. Now we're above here. We still got a little bit of fitting to do, but we're right there at it. Okay, we gotta lay this top back just a little bit until we can get that to hinge into place, and we're right there at it, guys. Okay guys, I just kind of wanted to show you this. You know, we was talking about how you know, when they make these die hits and come around these corners, you get these puckers in the steel. And basically what we have done here is made an artificial pucker, okay? By making these slits and then rolling them around, kind of overlapping them, we made a, well, like I say, what you would call an artificial pucker. You know, it's, you know, kind of like when you've, well, you know, when your old lady finds out that, you know, you spent this week or this month's rent money on beer to get your buddies to come over to help you with your old restoration project. That kind, the artificial pucker, just like that. As you can see, we're up a good bit here. Now we got to start working that in. Not that big of a job, just a little bit of hammer and dolly work. Actually, I'll put you guys over here where you maybe can see some of what I'm doing at least. Down to a nice fit there, we're going to put a tack. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to put this up in there with this radius facing this way. We can start bringing this around, which is how the original does. It's a lot of metal stretches, but that's how it works. We got a little kink here, and bring it up. There we go. Now we're looking like something. There we are. Okay. Time for another tack. Now you see me flexing all this. That's to bring everything into shape, guys. Now, as you can see, you know, our patch is really coming into shape nice. We got a little spot down here we're going to have to re-tack because it came loose, but no big deal. Now we can cut some of this length off and start working our corner. I just kind of wanted to show you this. You know, we was talking about how, you know, when they make these die hits and come around these corners, you get these puckers in the steel. And basically what we have done here is made an artificial pucker, okay? By making these slits and then rolling them around, kind of overlapping them, we made a, well, like I say, what you would call an artificial pucker. You know, it's, you know, kind of like when you've, well, you know, when your old lady finds out that, you know, you spent this week or this month's rent money on beer to get your buddies to come over to help you with your old restoration project. That kind, the artificial pucker, just like that. Okay guys, what we're going to do here, I'm going to just barely nip these to get rid of these tacks. We'll get us a, well actually we're not going to have to. We're going to cut it off right here about where we stopped, get that radius fit in, grind everything smooth, and then we're going to look at what we need to do as far as bringing everything into shape. But we're actually, as you can see, we're very close. Okay guys, got it all ground up, all the trimming work done, and here's what we got. You know, we got a nice radius on our lip. As you can see, it's nice and flat, fits good. The radius here is correct. Of course, we got a little shrinkage around our weld beads, no big deal. A little filler will take care of that. We come on around, of course, we got several little dings and dents. I mean, hey, it's a fender off of a 1954. We got a little hammer dolly work to do. Come on around. Got a pretty big dent there, but that will be pretty easy to knock out. Come on around, and here's the area we repaired earlier. And as you can see, you know, it welded in real nice, no problems. We've had a good day out here, folks. We got a lot of work done. Basically, the only thing left as far as welding goes is we've got to come up in here and make a new brace to put in there, and we'll be done. It's late. We're going to call it a day. Before we do, let's go outside and see what the head of security and entertainment's into. He's out here running around somewhere. He, as I've told you before, he hates our big space heater in here. So let's go out and see what he's doing. Willie! Ah, looky there, here he comes. Head of security, yes sir, man. What's up, Willie? You're all over it, ain't you? Yeah, got his stick with him to beat the hell out of them with if they get out of hand. Way to be, Willie. Okay, guys. It's Lucky Larry down here at K&L Machine and Welding saying hit the subscribe button, like us, and we'll see you later.